Alright, hello AP Computer Science students. This video is going to go over important information about this year's AP test being different because of the coronavirus. This information is constantly changing, and so I made this video on April 29th, so some of the information might have changed since then, but they did send out a bunch of information on this day. Hopefully you got an email from them, right? Mine looks probably a little bit different than yours, but it has a testing guide, a checklist, some videos. All right, and so most of the information you can actually get from the videos. So I'm just going to try and synthesize all this information for you, but I would watch these videos, right? So after watching this, go here, click and watch these videos. And you don't have to watch all of them, you can if you want, but at least the first three in this playlist are pretty useful. Especially this third one will cover um, how to like submit answers and what it's going to look like. So this one's really good just to give you a visual of what it's like. All right. So I would watch those, and then they have a quick reference. So this is for the AP Computer Science test specifically. This is just like a set of code that you might use. It talks about like math.random and ArrayList. What else is on there? Stuff about the integer class. Strings. It has all the string methods in there. So I would print that out and have it right next to you when you take your test, right? It'd be pretty useful. Try and track down a printer. Maybe if you got a buddy, if you don't have one, you might find a buddy that can do it. You can load it electronically, but I think it'll work a lot better to have it printed so you don't have like 18 windows open when you're taking the test. They also have an exam day checklist, which has you go through and make sure you have the stuff ready for the test. Probably a good thing to go look at. Um, a lot of it is intuitive, but there's some stuff that I didn't really think about, like making sure your device is charged, um, and making sure that you have whatever you're gonna do ready. Like if you're gonna handwrite it, make sure you have a bunch of paper and pens ready. If you're going to type it, make sure you can load the Google Doc ahead of time. Or I'm not sure what's going to work best, but my guess is I guess we'll see. They're going to have this demo on May 4th. We can see what that's like. But I honestly, I guess if you had to pick me, I would do Eclipse and then type them out and then paste my answers into the AP site. So the downside to Eclipse is you might have to like make the class, but you could have a couple blank classes started right away and then just rename them on the date of the test. Um, I don't know, any Eclipse sometimes has problems, but generally I think Eclipse would be good. And again, the other caveat with Eclipse is uh, it might give you red underline errors that might actually not be errors. They don't always give you all of the code, so you might be calling methods that they haven't actually created. So you might get the red underline errors, but your code still could be correct. So I don't know. You can kind of decide what you want to do, but I would probably type it out in a Google Doc or Eclipse and then paste my answer right onto the AP site. That seems the easiest way to me. At any rate, the video will kind of, if you watch some of those videos, it'll walk through what that'll look like. You can kind of pick which one you think is going to be the best option for you. All right, so most of the information you'll get from those videos. They also send out this giant PDF with other testing information, and I read through all of it already, and it's 51 pages. So if you want to read it all, you can, but the videos will cover most of it. If you watch those videos from the AP site, that's going to have the vast majority of what you need. But I wanted to highlight a couple things in here that might be useful to you. First one is our date. Hopefully you know that. We are on Friday, May 15th at 3 p.m. Central Time. Also, you have to be in a half hour early, so plan to start at about 2:30 because you have to log in, enter your like ID, and maybe fill out some other information. They also have a makeup date, and they said if something goes wrong, if your computer crashes or your internet stops working, then you can submit a request saying you want to do the makeup date. And so you can see for us, the makeup date would be Wednesday, June 3rd um, at whatever time, 1 p.m. Central Time. So so they did say to make sure that you try and hit the first time because there's only two times. So make sure you try and hit the first one. But if something comes up, then you can submit a request for the makeup. Um, All right, so it said it won't even be any more difficult this year, so it'll still be the same to get a 3, 4, or 5. They also don't grade on a curve, so if everybody gets a 4, everybody gets 4. Everyone gets a 5, they get a 5, right? And here's a huge part of this. It says don't worry about completing all the parts. Write down whatever you can. Sometimes you get points for just like initializing an array or an array list. You can get points for just like doing a method heading. There's tons of ways to get points. So if you don't get all of it, it says you can even get a still score a 5 even if you don't complete all of the questions. So make sure you submit whatever you've done, right? Don't leave it blank. Don't run out of time, right? If you run out of time before you submit at the end, then you can't get any credit, and that won't allow you to retake. Saying I ran out of time before I submitted, that's not good enough reason for getting a retake, right? So please know that, especially it says in here too, the harder the question, the less you have to get right. So maybe I think the free response are usually out of 9 points, but if it's a really hard question, maybe if you get just 3 or 4 of the points, that's enough to pass the exam. So don't freak out if you don't know all of it. Okay, so this has mostly come up in that checklist, so you don't need to look at this too much, but just know you can use your class notes and study guide, textbooks, any previous assignments and stuff. All the files you created in clips preparing for the test, you can use those. Um, it does say in here the internet, don't use that, all right? You can't copy stuff off the internet. In fact, they're going to make questions that are immune to that sort of. So, for example, they're not going to put a palindrome question on here because that's something you could easily Google, right? So they're going to make it hard to cheat. So they said searching the internet will probably just waste time, right? So the things I would think would probably make the most sense would be just Eclipse and then the files we've made preparing for the test. I think that's probably the best thing, along with that Java quick reference, right? So down here it talks about subject specific. And so for us, it says make sure you have the Java quick reference. And then you can use the IDE, which is a development environment. For us is Eclipse. And I don't know, I would probably use that unless you want to type your answers out in just a Microsoft Word, or Google Docs would be the other thing. But I would probably type it out and then paste my answer in. All right, yeah, here's just more information about the exam. You can read this if you want. Main thing, it says internet searches will waste your time and put you at risk of exam violation. So basically, I wouldn't be Googling the internet for stuff on this. Last two things to highlight from this 51-page document. This one makes sense to me as much as you can. Like even while I'm shooting this video, my wife is out in the hallway with my kid making noise, which would be super distracting to me on the test. So try and find a quiet place. If you're worried about that, you could get earplugs or maybe noise canceling headphones or something just to have it quiet when you're taking the test. I wouldn't do music or anything, but I would try and block out all the other noise so that you can focus on the test. Right, and then the other one is they are gonna have stuff monitoring cheating. So basically, don't do it. Right, it's stupid. You want to earn the credit anyways, but know that they're gonna be all over cheating stuff. I think that is it from this document. Again, if you want to read all 51 pages, knock yourself out. But hopefully that highlights the most important parts of it. All right, hope you all are doing and excited for this year's test. Um, Please reach out if you have any questions about this. Is a ton of information, so let me know if you need something. All right, take care.